What is going on? How we doing? Ryan, what is good, brother? Hope everyone's having a good day today. Man, we are so close to crossing $47,000. We have been stuck on $47,000 for so long now, and we are now officially $2 away. Not even $2. We're $1.67 away from crossing to $48,000 in revenue. Like, that is a huge milestone, guys. I don't think you understand, but I've been stuck on this number for so freaking long now. Like, dude, I need to pull this up. I need to show you guys just how long I've been stuck on 47K. Dude, we had such a strong start on this live stream, and then all of a sudden, I think it was like day 30. Dude, we've been stuck on 37K since freaking day 38. It is now day 75, guys. We are only just crossing to 48K. Like, holy shit, we've literally doubled the live streams. So huge milestone today that we are $2 away from crossing to I've just realized that the title is day 74. Let me change that real quick. Alright, we're back. Day 75. Let me give this a refresh. Let's see how quickly this updates. And boom, day 75, YouTube servers, man. There you go. Also, just in, someone has placed a massive bet that Claude Fable 5 will come to users next week. Now, as Greg Eisenberg mentioned, someone knows something. Something's going on. It's interesting for someone to come in and place such a big bet without having any prior knowledge, right? Bit of insider trading. So yeah, this is interesting. I think Fable might be coming out. Some people have also leaked Fable. Oh yeah, also shout out to OpenAI. They've just released their new chip with Broadcom. They called it jalapeno, however you wanna pronounce that. Some guy kind of put it into a chip packet. It looks kind of funny, so I saved it. But I'm trying to see if I can. There was leak. I can't find the tweet, but it was basically leaked that on Amazon there was like writing of the new Claude Fable in the code somewhere. So apparently it's going to be brought back. We just have rumors now, but yeah. PN, what's good? Sub. Did the revenue you made of Ace meet your expectations for these first few days after launch, would you say? I would say my goal was $1,000. I was like, if I can make $1,000 in the launch, then I'll be happy. And we ended up making just under 1,000. We ended up hitting 850. So in terms of like expectation, like it was on the, like, it didn't hit my goal, but I'm still happy because I'm noticing, like, as I'm continuing live streaming, as I'm continuing working on the project, you know, we're still getting sales trickling in. And, you know, I guess like this kind of like a testament, and, you know, I fell for it as well, but you should never think of your launch as like the be all end all. Never look at your launch and be like, damn, I only got like 1 sale or 2 sales. I've been working on this for so long. Like, I failed. No, you should never look at the launch like that. I know, like, you know, I say this time and time again, but I fell for it myself. When I started my first ever business, it was called Argo, and it was an eco-friendly clothing brand. And I was like maybe 17 at the time, and I basically created this clothing brand where it was fully eco-friendly in terms of like the cotton was recycled. You know, we used vegetable inks. Everything was like super like organic and eco-friendly, right? And it took me a very long time to set this up, like from finding the supplier to, you know, checking the samples out to, you know, designing everything. And at the time I was really into photography. So I would DM all these people in my area who had like semi-decent following. Like, I'm not talking like 10,000 plus. I'm talking like 1,000 or 5,000 followers, right? And I DM'd all these people and I was like, hey, I'll do a free photo shoot with you if you wear my clothing. I literally spent a whole year setting this up. just to launch my brand. And how many sales did I get? How many sales did I get? I got 2 sales. 2 freaking sales on the launch. After 1 whole year of prep. Like, you don't understand the misery that I was feeling. I was like, holy shit, this sucks. So me of all people, I should know that the launch isn't everything. So, you know, don't put too much pressure on yourself with the launch. You know, we've only just launched Ace and we're moving faster than ever. We're getting it, we're updating it more and more. It's actually motivated me a lot more to work on it as well. So, you know, there's a lot of multiple factors you got to consider after the app goes live. But yeah, overall, I'm happy. I'm in a good place, and I'm really excited for the future of Ace because we got a lot of cool things coming. Speaking of Ace, one of the things that I was kind of working on yesterday was pain points, because you got to consider like what is the pain point that your product is solving, okay? And so I actually kind of feel like I prematurely launched Ace a little bit. And I say that because if you actually go back and look at my launch video, this one right here, it goes for 3 minutes. It doesn't actually mention a single pain point. It doesn't show a single before and after. I've just kind of shown features and I'm like, yep, cool, check out Ace. Like, it actually doesn't really sell the product to the user at all. And so I kind of sat back on the drawing board and I was like, well, what is the pain point that Ace is trying to solve? And we came up with 4 directions. First is stop tab hopping. It's pretty simple to say, but the be all and end all is that, you know, you have all these different AI agents that you talk to and that you subscribe to, but you can't have them talk to each other. So the fact that Ace lets you kind of have them all talk to each other and collaborate with each other is a really strong sell point. And I think it's one of the strongest selling points. And I kind of want to lean into it a little harder, calling it an agent group chat. And if you guys ever saw what we did with the Claude design recently, you can see that we have this little side panel here that we're designing. And you can actually tag any of the agents in the chat. Like, for example, the build agent, I'll just be like, hey. And then the build agent replies. And so this is like the sort of idea that I'm thinking will actually help really push Ace forward, because it's this collaborative team that you're working with. It's not this once-off, talk to everyone kind of thing. And so the biggest point and the biggest pain point I'm seeing inside of Ace right now as a user and as the creator is that once you send a prompt, you're sending it to the whole team. Right now, you can only tag everyone. So it's like at everyone, hey. And then you don't actually get to talk to each one individually. You have to speak to all of them at the same time. And so you can see how this can be a problem really quickly when you're building an app and you want to change one tiny little feature and you're like, have to tag everyone, be like, oh, can we change this? It almost forces you to have to batch prompt everything. And so what I'm trying to do now is implement this chat system where I can literally just tag a single agent and be like, yo, can we rethink this? And then it's going to come back and be like, yo, checking it against the original spec, blah, 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 blah. So now I think this is going to greatly enhance what you can do inside of Ace. And this is a really exciting feature I'm excited to share with everyone. And it leans harder on the stop tab hopping, but also like, you can't trust AI enough to ship, you know? I don't know if you guys know this, but all AI is trained on their own data sets, right? They all have their own biases. So I remember when I first started YouTube, I asked ChatGPT and I was like, you know, how much can I charge for a sponsorship? And ChatGPT was like, oh, $3,000. I asked the same question to Claude, it told me $2,000. I asked it to Gemini, it was like 4,500. I was like, what the hell? They all had a different answer. And so what's really neat and handy about direction 2 and the pain point that we're solving is you can remove the bias by having them all talk and debate with each other. And then finally, from idea to app, pretty straightforward. Chuck in a prompt, one-shots your app. this is kind of where the group chat kind of comes in, the desktop control plane for AI agents. Like your AI agents work together so you can trust what ships. Like they work together inside of a group chat. People want AI to do real project work, but today they have to coordinate too much themselves. Multiple AI tabs, terminal tools, provider auth, copy context, Git branches. The output can be impressive, but it's hard to trust, hard to repeat, and hard to turn into a clean project change. ACE solves the AI coordination tax. It turns scattered AI assistants into a visible, local, multi-agent workflow that can plan, build, review, and hand work back through normal files and Git. That's a pretty solid point. Dude, this feature is exactly what I was thinking. Like I was thinking, like, I need this. Bro, let's go. See, that's what I'm saying. I've seen people talk about how they need this feature. And so I think we need to just help make that easier to understand inside of ACE. So right now, this is the current ACE app, right? And you can see we need to, in order to talk to the team, we need to send a full-on prompt. If I say hey in here, I'm tagging at everyone. Equivalent to in here, I'm literally tagging everyone and I'm saying hey. That's basically what this is. So giving the ability to actually, separate each agent, I think is extremely powerful and will take our app where it needs to go. We've got split consoles as well, so you can actually go in and like pick each one individually. So this is super cool. I just got to think about the best way to design this. And yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. I kind of like the split console, but I kind of like the group chat as well. So it could be like a combination of, you can tag everyone still. You've got the split console. In terms of like, you can see that this is the mission contract. Mission contract looks slightly different depending on the design. I don't like when it's a strip, to be honest. Mission contract being connected to the board is kind of a cool vibe. So I'm thinking it could be companion doc on the right alongside split console. A combination of companion doc, because we have this mission contract here, and then split console. Yeah, sometimes I just try to ask some simple question about the project and the whole team starts to produce answer, making it longer to respond. Yeah, exactly. So we can fix this by just implementing this feature. Now, I'm sure implementing this feature isn't going to be as easy as just chucking it into the app, but it's definitely something that we need to start. So let's start. Have I got Whisperflow connected? Yes, I do. All right. I really like the concept of split console, and I really like the way that the mission contract looks inside of companion doc. So I'm wondering if we could merge the ideas. Split console currently has, the AI logos, and then it also has these pills. But I think we could merge the AI logos with the pills, and when a user clicks on those AI logos, it takes them to those split console environments. What else? I think this is pretty good. I think the ability to minimize and expand is important. I think the ability to minimize the chat and fully expand the chat so it covers the screen is important. And then I think what we could play with this is we start introducing skills through the group chat. So you can literally just chuck a link in here and just be like, hey, at plan, can you start using this skill? And it'll be like, yep, Roger, got it. I think that'll be really cool. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to work on today, is this feature, because I think we can really push Ace as like, you know, you're talking to your AI agents inside of a group chat. Oh, Kick, how we doing? I might be using ads. We'll see. I want to purely go organic first, so ads isn't in the picture in the short term, but yeah, long term, based on winning kind of material, we might start pushing that into ads a bit more. But at the time being, for the time being, I'm kind of just thinking I'm gonna start integrating Ace into my videos. And what I kind of mean by that is right now, sponsors pay me to incorporate their brand into my video. For example, inside of here,
Is losing $2 to $7 every single day.
you can see that as soon as we go to 2 minutes and 3 minutes, I do this sponsorship deal with EvoMap, and they paid for this integrated slot. You can see they've got a link down here, and so I'm thinking I'm going to start swapping out paid sponsors with just my own app. And I'm just going to do a quick 30-second slot and just be like, yo, look, we're going to do this. This is Ace. Check it out. It helps you with this. Addressing the pain points in here. Like, it would just be a really quick stop tab hopping. Check out Ace, Claude, Codex, work together in one project workspace. Boom. Really quick, really sharp. Just drop it in there. I want to trial that alongside obviously live streaming, and we're going to see how that goes in the short term. I also want to get into Reddit a little bit and start pushing Reddit. I got a few ideas there, so yeah, super interesting. Definitely a lot of things to consider, but I'm really looking at the launch as like, you know, we've launched it and we've gotten so much feedback on how we can improve the app. And until we can get to a level where I'm seeing a lot of people go like, damn, Ace is amazing. Like, I'm using Ace as my daily driver. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm going to kind of slowly creep up the marketing as Ace grows, if that makes sense. So for example, with the group chat feature, when we're now solving the problem of not being able to talk to a single agent by incorporating group chats. Yo, Doobie, yo, bro. What up, Ashi? How you doing? Yo, Doobie, I've shifted to a new idea and I'm currently working on the website for my product. Any tips on making it and the layout, etc.? Because, you know, I'm clueless, lol. I mean, use Claude Design, man. I literally have Claude design everything for me, and it really helps bring the idea to life before we actually execute. What are you building? I'm building Ace, my agentic coding environment. New features looking like a sick idea. Thanks, bro. How many prompts will it take to reach context rot approximately in Ace? Do you have any idea? I mean, it's just like any other chatbot. So it has the exact same context as these normal models would, plus or minus an extra message or two based on the context from the previous agent. But you can always clear chat up here if you want, and that'll get everything sorted. But yeah, I'd probably say maybe 10 messages, 10, 15. And then you do it. ICL2 need to overhaul the UI fully right now. It looks super slop even if the product is good. You reckon? You're actually the first person to say that. You know, I think it's subjective. I really like the UI. Like, personally, I really like the UI. A lot of people who have used the app say that they really like the UI. So it's interesting that you say that, F4, because I actually completely disagree with you. Oh, okay. What's your best tip on using Claude Design then, boss? I mean, literally just go in and start using it. Like, you'll find it super easy. It's going to ask you questions. You literally just type into it like you would Claude. Use a cheap model if you want to save on tokens, and just talk to it, and it'll ask you questions on what you're trying to build and go from there. So how have you made this money in revenue now? It's all from Ace. We've just crossed, let me see if I can find a screenshot. Actually, I posted about it on X. But we just crossed $950. So if you go into replies, right here, we just crossed $952 in revenue for Ace, which is I'm pretty happy with. Like, it's only been 1 week since we launched it. So yeah, shout out everyone that joined and is using Ace. Yeah, I'm excited to create a really cool app that everyone can enjoy. But yeah, we're $2 away from crossing to 48K, which is a big milestone. Let's see how this is going. Okay, it looks like it's going. Okay, so, oh, this is nice. Okay, so it's merged them together. It expands, and I don't love how it looks when it's expanded. Have you made any money from the apps? What do you mean? Ace is the app that I'm monetizing right now. It's the only app that I'm monetizing. All previous apps that I built are either dead or they were like flash in the pans. You can look in the description and see like what other apps we've made in the series so far. Ace is the kind of one that we're focused on right now. Every app that I've made through Ace, I haven't like distributed. This is purely just for testing Ace. Like, even though I probably could sell some of these things, I haven't like sold anything. The ones you published in App Store, I didn't push that further than the App Factory. So when I was building the App Factory essentially merged into Ace because I was building the App Factory and I was kind of like, well, I have this team of 11 AI agents building from end to end, submitting my app in the App Store. What if I brought that back one layer and I built the interface or sandbox for other people to build their own AI agent teams? That's kind of how I came up with Ace. How do you transfer the front end features to the back end while using Claude Design? You can just share up here and then export, and then you can export as a .zip, standalone HTML, and then basically just like you would when you're prompting your agent for a feature, you would just speak to your agent and just be like, yo, look, I want to do this. Here's the design. And the design tends to give the agent a lot more direction. Yo, we got 15 people watching right now. We've only got 1 like on the stream, man. Come on, like up the stream. What y'all doing, man? Like the stream if you haven't already. Show some love. But yeah, this is looking good. I'm not loving how this looks, to be fair. Part of me feels like it could be simplified. This is looking good. The split doc merged. I'm not loving the mission contract. It just feels way too complicated and there's way too much text. I think we could simplify it so that that little slither at the top has everything the user needs. For example, the build and open, the 3 little dots help show the agent going through the pipeline. There's a GitHub button there that turns into a drop down. I think we could add everything into that little slither. slither. Alright, so we got, this is what it looks like, full chat. I don't love it, to be honest. I think in full chat, the mission contract doesn't need to take up the entire top half. It can just take up a little corner on the right side. Can just take up a sidebar. Also, I want the group chat, like I want this to feel more like a group chat, you know? Picture like you're sending a message and you have a little message bubble like you would on iMessage. I want it to feel more casual, more cozy, natural. How do you transfer? I already answered that. How long have you been all in on AI, and how long do you think it will take a newbie to reach your level? I mean, if you look at how long I've been live streaming for, that's about how long I've been doing this for. So 75 days. So if you locked in for like 2.5 months, you could get to my level easy. I will say that I have had a lot of help from you guys who, you know, are in the chat, because you guys are a lot smarter than me, especially there's a lot of developers in the chat. So, you know, they kind of help me when there's a problem, or they'll tell me if I'm doing something wrong. I've almost got instant live feedback if I'm doing something wrong. And so it kind of helps keep me on edge a little bit, and it helps me improve, which is honestly a huge advantage. But I reckon if you locked in, you could probably get to where I am in like, 2 months easy. All you got to do is just build a few apps, have one that like gets your first couple hundred users, have one that like fails, and you're halfway there already. When I press the GitHub button, sometimes it bugs. Like I commit, then when I try to push PR button shows for 1 second that it disappears. If I act fast, I can push, but it disappears quickly. Okay, that's a funny feature. That's a funny bug. Let me fix that. Are you on Windows or Mac? Meta. Let me go. Also, feel free to give me as much feedback as possible. I'm trying to improve the app as much as possible. User has commented with some feedback. Please look into it. On Mac, okay, interesting. We also built Ace Bench, which is, I'm actually really excited to share this with you guys. Open on localhost. I forgot which one it was on. Was it 8,000? Maybe it was 8,000. Think of this one. Here we go. Yo, check this out. So this is Ace Bench. And this is basically going to help us improve Ace, because on the left-hand side, you can see what the model has produced by itself. And on the right-hand side, you can see Ace's production. And so in hopes to improve Ace overall. And there's already like some differences. Like you can see in the gym landing page, it's not that good. Like this is Claude, right? This is Ace. Look how cleaner this looks. I really like what it's done. Like look, these look really cool. Like these tabs. Core Pilates. Damn, that looks really cool. I didn't even know that was an. Is that even a emoji? That looks sick. So yeah, you can see it's already making websites nicer, and it's probably because we've been focusing on websites to improve it. But yeah, keen to try some other stuff. Even with the lava lamp, there's a big difference. And we just recently added config, which will let us actually change the different models. So right now we got Gemini here, but we could actually use Claude. And we could do something like this. Single agent, we could go Opus, we could go the best, obviously. And then you can change the prompts to like be different things. So for example, I haven't tested this feature yet, so we could try it. Yo, Kimoros, how you doing? Maybe we could change this fluid particle field because I'm not loving it into, maybe I could help. Maybe I could ask ChatGPT. Okay, so here is some of the prompts that we're getting our agents to use inside of Ace Bench. Could you give me some alternatives? We're looking to create things that are quite complex visually to for an AI agent to create, because this will help us really push the limits and boundaries of these models. What's my favorite model? It used to be GPT 5.5, except at the moment it's probably Claude. Cosmic Weather. Oh, these look way cooler. Neon City Rain. Yo, create a cyberpunk. Okay. Damn, these look sick. All right. I'm going to definitely replace some of these. Let me connect these two. This is my first time trialing this, by the way. Okay, my Chrome just crashed. Chrome just completely quit on me. Let me reopen. No idea why. Super weird. Let me force quit it. Is there like an update? Sometimes it does that when you haven't updated in a while. No, everything looks alright. Okay, we back. Check the live streams. Xander Stratton, heading to work. I'm going to give Ace a try when I get home. Looks very interesting and helpful for what I'm trying to build. Have a great stream. Thanks, Xander. Appreciate you, bro. What's your thoughts on Fable? I think Fable is really good. I touched it for about 1.5 full days of work. I went pretty hard. But unfortunately, it got banned. All right, so we were in the middle. I just wanted to create a split view. Here we go. So let's change this to Claude. We got Ace there, we got review. So now I'm already seeing another problem where I might want to change the team up to be different. Maybe I'll get Claude to build. And I get GPT to review. That's the setup I got right now. And then we can have GPT versus Claude. And let's replace Galaxy Simulator with... I just noticed there's these little pills here. Okay. So a few things. A few things I'm noticing already. Okay, a few things I'm noticing already with the Ace bench configuration is that it's got these little pill titles which don't change even though I'm changing like the title. So it doesn't really make sense why we have them. If we already have a title text box, why should there be a smaller pill that is non-changeable? Also, the Ace team. Actually, we can just leave it at that. If I was to, we can probably get rid of this. If I was to add a prompt, hey, see, it just says new prompt. So I'll just screenshot that. For those wondering, this is Ace Bench. And this is basically what's going to help us compare Ace's output versus other models. This is going to help us improve Ace over time. Because as you can see, it actually didn't... I would say that Claude did a better job here for the Milky Way. But if you scroll down, it looks like Ace did a better job for the lava lamp. So we can kind of look at this and be like, okay, well, it messed up here and here. Oh, we've got a cool maze game. So Ace built this maze game, which is kind of cool. Not bad, pretty good. This is probably the best output we've seen so far, actually. And so you got medium, large, extra large. Damn, that looks hard. Small, pretty basic. It's cool that you can use the mouse with this if you want. It's kind of nice. If we were to compare that now to Claude, like, it looks very different. Like, I would definitely say Ace's looked cooler. Here you don't get to change the difficulty. You just have like a reset button, new maze. That's all you can do. So you never get to change the difficulty. But the buttons do work, which is kind of nice. Can we check Codex? Now Codex, I don't know what the hell Codex has done here. Like, dude, it doesn't even have freaking walls. How do I know where I'm going? Look, I can't turn left right now. See, look, I literally can't turn left. I can go down, I can go right, and go down. Can I go right again? No, I can't. So it's got these invisible walls. So Codex is a bit weird. Don't fully understand it. I feel like it might have... Yeah, weird. It's got invisible walls. Like, I don't know if I would consider that a maze. But it did... See, I can't go right now. It won't let me. See, that's weird. But yeah, this is going to help us improve the output. What IDE are you using? I'm jumping between Conductor and eventually I'm going to switch to Ace. Could I just ask something to Ace, like make this more user friendly, or make it more like someone would want to use this app over X app? Would it work since there is a pipeline working, or should I be more specific? 100% you could do that. You just got to make sure that your system prompts can support it. So inside of Ace, depending on your team, wait for Ace to open. Also, I think you'll be able to tag individual people with this new group chat feature. But depending on the team, you just need to make sure that the system prompt here supports it. And one thing we're going to, I guess, add is a regenerate button here. So you can press the regenerate button and type in what you want, and then it'll actually regenerate the entire system prompt based on what you have requested. But yeah, that's a feature down the line. So yeah, I think that's also another thing we need to consider is this section pops up here. So this is the GitHub button, which isn't working. Slyfawn, what's good? Haven't seen you in a minute. Decan, how you doing, brother? Welcome, welcome. It would be a cool feature. Just trying to make Ace an app that makes it really simple for vibe coders to be able to build cool projects. So another thing that we need to consider is when a user double clicks on a agent, this right-hand side panel pops up. And this happens for almost all of our tags. It happens with the cron timer tag. Every single element, or a lot of the elements on the board, when you double click, their kind of system menu pops up on the right hand side. So we kind of need to rethink of a new way for their system menu to pop up. Because if we now have this chat box on the right hand side, where does the system menu go? I think we can also lock in on the split dock option, so we can remove all the other options. One last look. Yeah, the strip, not loving it. Little hover things, kind of nice. I don't mind the hover actually. This one's kind of nice. Mission strip. Companion dock. Yeah, we're probably looking at this one, although, yeah. Life and stuff is good, brother. I start up the next part of my course on the 6th. Excited. How has the launch been going? Yeah, it's been going really well, man. It's been going really well. In our first week, we have locked in and closed in on $952 for the app launch, which I'm pretty happy about. I think it's a pretty good launch, considering it's only been the first week. So yeah, going to continue to just improve Ace and turn it into my daily driver. That's kind of the goal here. The day that I swap from Ace to Conductor is the day that I know that everything's clicked. Hey Doobie, I wanted to ask you what is your hardware looks like. I just run my MacBook Pro. I've got like the 2019 MacBook Pro or 2022 MacBook Pro, and that's literally it. Like I'm a bit outdated, I'm not gonna lie, but it does the job for me, to be honest. But yeah, if you want to try out Ace for yourself, there's a link in the description at the top. Check it out. Have your agents collaborate with each other. So Certificate 3 in Entrepreneurship and New Business. Man, I just graduated my international business degree, so it's kind of funny. You and me switching places, kind of, Slyphorn. I'm going into software dev and you're going into business. Nothing special. Chose C3 over C4 because I'm lazy and it's the same content. Man, I forgot my headphones again. We basically need to rethink some of the app's functionality in order for all of this to work seamlessly. Part of me wonders, like, if you click on it twice, maybe it pops up as a bubble. LMAO, yes, swapping places, Doobie. I need to learn how to make them business plans and financial docs. You're learning the tech doc side. Yeah, legit. Legit, man. That's funny. Also, you'll notice that we've recently added a new change to the slides. So now you can click and drag to select. Let me just confirm that this works. God damn it. Let me fix that. I will have to. Oh my god, we got way too many tabs here. All right, let me do a quick cleanup. How far behind is dev to main right now? Because we've got way too many chats. We need to start fixing shit. Damn, 1,084 commits. That's crazy, dude. Two commits behind main. Okay, so we can probably get rid of a bunch of this shit. I haven't merged this one yet. I'll get another review going. This is going to allow for local model integrations. Okay, what the button is, the GitHub button on a board is the repo chip in the mission contract card, which opens a small drop down with one primary action button. That button's label state is computed live from Git status by the shared why it flashes. It's a timing race between two server round trips that update the same UI. When you commit, so your actionable push button is replaced by a grayed out merge PR about a second after it appears. If I act fast, I can push equals you clicked it before the slow landed and swapped it. This only bites on a branch that already has an open PR. There's also recommended fix. Make the push action stable so a late can't yank it away when they are unpushed checkpoints. 2 things before I implement. Please implement the fix and push to dev. Okay, we've done that. Ace pain points. Remove. Done that. Okay, yep, cool. We can get rid of everything. Perfect. Start fresh. If you're Aussie and on the dole, inquire about the self-employment program. That's what I'm doing. The self-employment program. I want to buy a new PC or laptop. Do you have any recommendations? Ask Vince, man. Vince just joined. What up, Vince? How we doing? Bruh? Shout out Vince, by the way. He helped clean up a shit ton of the code in the app. He was basically grilling me all of last night. Also, shout out Jmart for helping as well. Those 2 boys been helping out a lot with the app, so I got to give them props. I didn't even ask for it. They were just like, yeah, your code base is ass. Let me just do this. Let me do a bit of tinkering here and there. Let me give this a refresh. So I should be able to go in config now. What's this? See, that didn't really do anything. Why is it still there? I think we should remove it entirely, because if the top text box is already for the title, then the bottom text box is the prompt, then why do we need this little section at the top anyway? We can completely remove it. So weird. Gonna be merging some crazy changes. Yo. I'm excited, bro. Get a MacBook Air M4. It's very worth it. I mean, I know that the M5, is the M5 or M6 coming out this year? I heard that's going to be a big jump. So I'm kind of waiting for that, to be honest. Also, I'm kind of debating on whether to get a laptop or just get a Mac Studio. Because I feel like you're paying a lot more for the convenience of having a screen connected to your compute. But if you just buy the compute, then you actually end up getting a lot more compute for the same price. And I don't know if I need my laptop anymore, to be honest. Get a MacBook Pro for local AI. I've already got a MacBook Pro though. Like, do you think a MacBook Pro is enough, Vince? Yo, I don't know if you saw. Vince, did you see that someone localized Fable 5 for 1.3 terabytes or something? Or was it GLM? GLM 5.2? One of them. It is cheaper for a laptop. Depends on what you already have. If you have a Lappy, get the big server boy. Yeah, exactly. And then the Lappy's kind of just like your kind of daily driver that's like kind of minimal. When and how can you increase revenue or ARR? There's plenty of ways. There's plenty of ways. There's a very broad question, Mass Mage. I feel like you got to be a bit more niche and specific. Laptop is more worth it in every way. desktop. Build your own server rack. That's overkill, man. MacBook Pros are insane. Depends what you're doing. Yeah, nah, it's shit. Tried it already. What's the specs of your current machine, Doobie? That's a good question. I think it's a 32 gigabytes in RAM, 1 terabyte storage, and then I think it's the M2 chip. I got it in 2022. Mac, it's tricky because Mac is like hard to like understand their specs because they kind of hide it a little bit. Like, can you suggest me a few projects that I can start with Vibecoding? Dude, there's so much you could do with Vibecoding. Why would you want me to give you something that you're gonna have to spend the next couple weeks working on, Jen? Wouldn't you rather work on something that you are passionate about? Because if I suggest you to build something, you are literally gonna be stuck building that thing for a while because Vibecoding isn't easy. Like you got to spend time. So think about what is the problem you want to solve. If you like football, think about how you could create an app that uses your camera to help with your striking capabilities. If you like knitting, then think about how you can use AI to teach you how to knit and make an app out of it. Like think about the problems and the life that you live and how you can build things around solving those problems. Or just solve Masked Mage's problem and make a search tool website. That works too. I are the overkill yapper. Let me build you a server rack. Get rich already, bro. Dude, do you have a server rack? Slyphorn? Yo, Vince or Slyphorn, do either of you guys have a server rack? Oh yeah, that's fine. Literally just get a Mac Studio. M2 is still good. M2 is like half of what is out already though, Vince. M4, we got the M4, almost got the M5. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm drilling into capitalism too much and I'm trying to chase the new shiny thing. Vibe coach suggestion, just talk to the clanker. I currently have Air M3, but it's 16 gigabytes RAM, so it doesn't enough for local AIs. Should I get an extra laptop or PC? I feel like Vince is always going to say yes to that question. Meta. I think you also need to consider like, I don't know. I personally don't think local AI is fully there yet. Vince thinks otherwise. Wait, Vince, are you using local as much as you are Opus at the moment? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Vince. Studio and the laptop. M5 is out, I think. Okay, so the M6 is about to come out then. Yeah. YouTube's most beautiful vibe coder back at it again. What are you working on today? Damn, Eric Brady, bro. You trying to make me blush, bro? Trying to make me blush, man? We're working on Ace. You guys kind of distracting me, man. I gotta lock in a little bit. I'll let that run. Done. The slot tag is gone. Okay, so let's do an ace bench. All right, this is the whole concept of the stream is we're gonna make an ace bench. So, yo, Vince, what do you think of my bench, bro? Check out my bench, man. Yo, Slyphorn, what do you think? Local AI tech needs improvement, in my opinion. Kill switches vibe. No, local is nothing in comparison to cloud. I use local for basic stuff, but I would kill for 12 gigabytes of VRAM. Yo, I'm pretty sure my old computer has like 128 gigabytes of VRAM. Is that good? I bought it like 5 years ago and I haven't touched it since. Should I be selling that shit on the market? Like, all right, this is Ace Bench. And what's cool about Ace Bench is you can actually set it up to do, and this is my first time trying to get this to work, by the way. So if it breaks, don't be alarmed. It's very normal. For anything that I build, it breaks the first time around. But you can basically test it against single agent models. So Opus 4.8, Codex 5.5. We've got the ACE team over here. And then I'm just curious how... Okay, so I'm looking at the ACE team and I'm just curious, like, is this actually going through the ACE app? Or are you just configuring these models yourself in this order to create the end result? Because we need to make sure that this is going through the ACE app and going through the full onboarding, because that is how we're truly going to be able to test ACE's capability. I'm thinking like, bro, bench VRAM is GPU memory. If it does, yes, but I doubt it. Is GPU memory. Okay, so VRAM. I had the 4060 when it just came out, and then I got like, I literally kitted the shit out of my computer and got like a 128. It might have even been 256. Like I remember just going hard on the RAM, and this was back when RAM was pretty cheap. I remember I paid like $100 for it, $100 or $200 max. I'm selling all my old IT crap right now. People jumping on bandwagons, haha. But since so many are broke, they are willing to buy stuff from like 2014. Damn. End of life hardware, but still glad to get something from it. Dude. How much does an RTX 4060 go for now? Oh, they're pretty cheap. RTX 4060 only $470, man. Dude, I remember paying like $1,500 for this shit when it first came out. Like, I got this when it was brand spanking new. Maybe I paid $1,000 for it. So yeah, it's actually not worth that much. Interesting. I'm only zesty for Doobie, unfortunately, only when he's got the good vibe coding playlist on. Bro, I can't find my freaking headphones, man. I can play music for you guys, but then you can't hear me talk because I'm gonna have to play it through the speaker. I'm still all in on apps, but I made 8K this month on 2 vibe-coded websites. This is the way. Yo, Eric Brady. Teach us your ways, bro. Can we view one on your websites, or you want to keep it private? Well, I currently use Ace, but still my Mac couldn't handle it well since... Okay, I mean, maybe Vince is pushing out an update that's going to help optimize it a bit. Isn't that right, Vince? So maybe that'll help. Okay, let's see what it's saying here. This is exactly the right question to be skeptical about. The bench is worthless if the ACE column is me puppeteering models in sequence rather than the real app's orchestration. Let me not answer from memory. Let me trace the actual code path. The real orchestration is being called at line 33, the same engine as the app, with real stages, loops, agents, and real cost token accounting. So the ACE column is not me sequencing models by hand, but your instinct is worth... Okay. Directly with a stub workspace, which may skip the interactive onboarding. Decisive finding. The real app's own onboarding wizard builds its board with the same and the real run path. Now I can see exactly what the onboarding wizard passes. Okay, so I think we need to create an MCP of sorts. So we'll go max for this. Okay, so we've already kind of built a little bit of internal API work for the agents, and I kind of want to expand that into an MCP, okay? And this isn't going to be for production use at the moment. It's going to be purely internal, but the whole concept is to create an MCP so that our agents internally are able to understand the app, but also it's easy for us to test when using something like Ace Bench, which we've just built, which lets us utilize Ace's capabilities without going through and, pressing the app. This is a big task, so I want you to, really brainstorm and do a deep dive and plan out how to do this. Yo, Vince, have you ever built an MCP before? I will on disk, Vince. Optimize it a ton. 20x improvement. Damn, that's huge. Your usage limits enterprise $931 of 1,000 spent. I'm gonna have Anthropic send the bill to Doobie. That's funny. Yo, Vince, you have built an MCP before? Maybe I should link it to something. How to build an agent MCP for your app. Build an MCP app. Getting started guide for building interactive UI applications with MCP apps. You'll need Node.js 18 or higher. Good thing we run on Node.js, which is already good. Familiarity with MCP tools and resources is recommended since MCP apps combine both primitives, experience with the MCP. So this is actually a company. I did not know that. Doobie, if you want, I will stand up a proper MCP for you. I have multiple MCPs I've built, mostly use CLIs over MCPs though. I really want to build an MCP, Vince. Because I feel like it'll unlock a lot internally within it's an open source project, okay. Internally with each agent, because the agents are going to understand the app surface that they are on. So they're going to work better together. And they're going to be able to talk to each other. And then that MCP can also be used inside of Ace Bench. Yeah. I also think, why do you want to use an MCP? Because I think MCP is like another distribution funnel. Just like people use Claude and connect their plugins inside of here and connect their MCPs in here. I think Ace could be an extension, and it can just be another method for users to connect to Ace without having to technically download it. So yeah, Vince, thoughts? No, we don't do an MCP for that. Don't worry, you're already on it. This guy, man. So wait, what do you mean we don't need an MCP for that? Don't you need an MCP to connect to Claude? You kind of do, don't you? Like, so you're telling me not to build an MCP? Is that what you're telling me, Vince? I'll show you later in DMs because you're gonna build it. If you want to tackle it, I won't start on it. Because I was literally just going to give it this prompt, and then I was going to just copy this and paste it in. That was about as far as my input on an MCP was going to go. Man, Claude design is taking ages recently. Like, it is still going. Yo, that's kind of smooth. And then it has everything inside of here. Are we liking that? I don't mind it. It's kind of smooth. It's done pretty neatly. You know, I'm realizing if we have this group chat, we kind of no longer need an output block because the agent is connected to the group chat and you see the output in the group chat, and so you don't need the output block. This is actually really changing things. This is actually greatly simplifying the app. This is just a really big update, so we also need to consider that we kind of no longer need the output block anymore. Because if we have a group chat where we're able to see, no way, there's a freaking, dude, you can react with a thumbs up. That's kind of cool. If the agents could react to each other with emojis, that would be sick. Okay. We also need to consider that we kind of no longer need the output block anymore, because if we have a group chat where we're able to see the agents talking to each other, then we can kind of just look through the group chat rather than the output block. I really like the concept of having these emoji reactions to the chat, and that's basically the agents talking to each other. They don't do it excessively, but I think it could be nice as like a interaction to confirm that the agents are reading each other's messages. So if I say hey in an isolated chat, and then I go all, this looks really neat. What's it look like on nighttime? Looks clean. J-Mart, how we doing, bruh? How we doing? Shout out J-Mart, man. J-Mart, honestly, the GOAT. Really been helping out on the Windows side of the app. So just want to give a huge shout out to J-Mart for helping out with Ace, especially on the Windows side of things. I don't think the Windows version of the app would even exist right now if it wasn't for J-Mart. So huge shout out to J-Mart, and of course, huge shout out to Vince for helping out optimizing the app. Hey Doobie, I'm making a Etsy pipeline where Claude and my Hermes create and ship draft products for me, and then I approve or deny them. Do you think it will work? Yo, hello, Peretti. That is a fantastic idea. I think that is a great idea. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you look at the very first video that I ever made, like scroll down, look at this. The second video is Etsy related, Etsy related, Etsy related. I actually used to be an Etsy seller, and I was able to get my store to like $7,000 in 3 months selling AI generated clip art and so yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think that's a really good idea. Hello. That's a good idea. If you can execute it properly, the goal and the moat in Etsy right now is to be able to produce as much listings as possible and across as many different niches as possible. Etsy market's so clogged up though, you got to be sick to make money. It's still possible though. It's definitely a lot harder, but I mean, I was able to do it. I remember it made me really good at AI image generation because you have to create an image of quality, otherwise no one's going to buy it. People are putting their money where their mouth is. If you create something that's kind of ass, then no one's going to buy it. And so it's literally a really quick way to improve. AI clip art is crazy. People actually buy that? Hell yeah, man. Dude, I used to have this app called Honeybee, and it would literally say how much money these guys were making. Like, maybe I share it in here. Oh, this is cringing me out, dude. Look at the freaking mic I was using. Oh my freaking, dude, what the hell is that? Bro, what is that, bro? Oh my God, I'm cringing so hard right now, man. Oh, it's making me cringe. But yeah, there's this tool called Honeybee, and it basically shows you how much people are making, right? And so I don't know if you guys can see that, but this listing right here is making $3,386 a month in revenue. This one right here, trendy retro Halloween stickers. And so this one over here, you can see Halloween PNG Spooky Ghost is making $2,226 a month. So there's actually a market here. You just need to be able to create cool art that people actually want. And you can see this listing was only 2 months old, has 46 reviews, 18,000 views, has an 8.7% average conversion rate, which is really high. Yeah, Etsy's definitely something that you can do. It's just very competitive, and don't expect to get your first sale quickly. But yeah, I got so good at it, and my account kept getting banned because I was selling like illegal IP. I was selling like Harry Potter stickers and shit. So my account kept getting banned, but I got so good at it that I was able to get my first sale within 48 hours. And so I was like talking to people about it. I actually, like, honestly, if you want to get into Etsy, these videos are still gold, okay? They still hit. So you should check them out. Okay, so enough of that. Too close. One decision is yours. Reserving auto answer. Yes. I think this is good. So if I was to implement, I kind of like how this bar looks as well. I'm not going to lie. Like, this bar looks really clean. Let me send it. LMAO Blue Yeti. That's the Blue Yeti was where it's at, bro. No wonder I got no views in those videos. I went stand for snowball slander. They called out the snowball LMAO. My experience with Etsy is that the stuff you think is awesome doesn't sell, and the stuff you just pop out without a second thought takes off. I mean, yes and no. I noticed the strategy with Etsy, and I kind of use the same strategy with YouTube a little bit, is if there's someone selling like 10 like parrots, for example, you come in and you sell 50 parrots for the same price. And now when people see your listing, they're like, well, I can get his. And he's like, you just put in way more work than your competitors and then you'll win. That's how I see Etsy. And so I remember there'd be these people that will sell like 50 packs of teddy bear bundles. And I came in, flopped my big dong out on the table, was like 220 teddy bears in this single listing. Take it or leave it. And it would work. That was kind of my strategy. And so on YouTube, I kind of do the same thing. where someone will be like, top 10 Claude skills. And then I come out with my strategy, flop my big dong out, and I'm like, 330 top Claude skills. Boom. Boom. Big number. Boom. And that strategy I've seen work. Sup, what up? WBR Payne, hope you're doing well. Is there anything better I could do then? I mean, what are you selling? Hello, Peretti. Etsy's like Fiverr. It's a race to the bottom in value terms. I mean, yeah, exactly. That's actually why I stopped, because I made that realization. There is like customer loyalty with Etsy, I've realized, but yeah, damn, the interface here looks really clean. I don't think we need this here. Oh, damn, this is interesting. So center modal pops up like this, which is kind of cool. Left dock, damn, pops up in the left-hand side. What are we thinking, guys? Canvas pop over. Interesting. In chat. Yo, center modal's kind of cool. What are you thinking? I was just going to sell printables. Name's Josh. Sorry, burner account. Ah, hey Josh. Why are you using a burner account, bro? Use your real account. The hell? Please implement the fix and push to dev. This was regarding okay. Let me verify, review this. Damn, this looks interesting. I'm wondering if we even need stages anymore. Dude, this actually changes like everything with my app. Because if we don't need output blocks, then we don't need stages. And if we don't need stages, dude, I think I'm greatly simplifying my app and I love it. Well, if we don't need an output block anymore, then technically we don't even need stages. We can actually, the only thing that stages does is it gives the agent a priority number. And so what we could do is we could just give that priority number to the agent and it pops up as like a little number on the top right, kind of how the settings icon is popping up. But maybe it pops up on the top left since the settings icon is on the right hand side. The view you currently has looks nice. I think users being able to visualize what is happening helps. Dude, 100%. Do you reckon, so you reckon the group chat's a good idea, Jmart? Because I feel like the group chat actually greatly reduces a lot of the things we need on the board. Because think about it. If you have a group chat, you're seeing the agents talk to each other, so you no longer need the output block for each individual agent anymore. You no longer need this output block right here. Because if it's in the group chat, you can see its output already. So you don't actually need this. And technically, if you don't need the output block, then you don't even need the stage, because the whole point of the stage was to group the agent with the output block together. But you technically don't even need that. So I'm thinking, if we don't have an output block, then do we even need a stage? And like maybe the only reason I can see someone needing a stage is if you had two agents inside the same workflow. That's the only reason I can see people using a stage. But yeah, I think this actually greatly simplifies the app and makes it way easier to use, because now each agent has its own output block, which is inside of the group chat. And what's really cool is we can make it look kind of friendly, because agents can react to each other's messages. Like you can see it's gotten a thumbs up here. And this kind of shows that the agents are talking to each other. So you're literally part of a group chat that all the agents are inside of. And all you're kind of doing is just prompting them like you would if you had a group chat with your friends, for example. Like that's the vibe that I'm feeling would really make this pop. The only way I see stages being useful is if you have multiple agents inside of a stage working together to, I don't know, debate a topic or synthesize something. That's the only reason. And we could use a stage, and I think a stage almost acts as a body. So you can have an agent that is prioritized, number one. You can have an agent that is prioritized number two, and then you could have a stage that is prioritized number three, and it's a group of two agents that are talking to each other and debating the output. So you want to picture a stage like a body. It's no longer necessary, but you can use it as a grouping mechanism. Yeah, but maybe someone wouldn't want to look at the chat and only wants to know what the AI is doing in a simple way. So a simple what the AI is doing next to the icon would be nice. I think the stage helps group it, makes it fit visually. Okay. That's a fair point, Kill Switch. But I think from we can definitely incorporate that. It could be like a simple hover. Stages make it fit to a particular pipeline. Group chat allows for better, more creative experiments. True. I think Kill Switch, we could definitely implement like a little hover effect where you hover over the agent and it tells you like in one sentence what they're working on. And then the group chat is like you're able to collaborate live, right? It could almost instinctively use the / by the way skill that Claude has. You can have a chat bubble come up on the agent when they send a message if the group chat is closed. This way you can still see what's happening. That's cool. That's a cool UX. I like that idea a lot. So you can have it closed and you can still see like little chat bubbles popping out, basically showing you that it's working. And if you want, you can just open it up. And this is kind of a cool interface as well, because now you have the system prompt popping up here and it almost dominates the whole screen. So it makes you focus on just this, where right now I can have this open up on the sidebar and I can just leave it there. And it looks kind of messy. As you can see, it's overlapping over the mission contract. It's overlapping over the text and the mapping. So it looks a little bit messy. And you could honestly just leave it there forever. So I kind of like the concept of, no, once you click on the agent, you need to focus on this thing, fix what you need to fix, look at what you need to look at, and then click out. Steal iMessage thinking thing when someone's sending a message. Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that. Also, actually, we kind of already have that. Look, if I say, hey, you can see they're already typing. You can see the typing. You see that? So are you saying that should show like on the actual board? Is that what you're saying, Jmart? Yeah, when you compare the two, the new is so much better, LMAO. Dude, there's literally like a night and day difference. This is a huge upgrade. hey, I'm doing all of this, but I want to get into app development, but what do I need and how much will it all cost? How much did it cost for you to start? I would look at it as, dude, it cost me a shit ton to start. Let me send this prompt and I'll get back to you, Josh. Give me 1 sec. I really like the little 3-dot icon that pops up when an agent is typing. I think what we could do is that 3-dot animation pops up on the actual board in front of the agent when they're talking in the group chat. This lets the user see visually, even if the group chat is closed, that the agents are kind of talking to each other and interacting and working. Dude, this is a huge update. It's so fun to design it. I'm scared to freaking touch it though. Yo, Josh, so it cost me a lot to get into vibe coding because I didn't know what I was doing. So I used to use this tool called Replit, which basically handles everything. It handles the onboard, it handles the deployment, it handles the database, it handles everything for your app, right? So you don't need to come in with any knowledge. You can just prompt what you want, and Replit handles all the heavy lifting. So you can just come out the other side with an app that works. The only problem with that is you're paying a shit ton of money for convenience. So I was spending like upwards of like $80 a day. There were days where I would have such a big vibe coding session that I would spend like $300 in that one freaking day just vibe coding my app. I was spending ridiculous amounts of money vibe coding. But I look at it and I'm like, that was just my tuition fees. That's like what I paid to learn how to do this. Because obviously now I'm looking back and I'm like, that's stupid. I'd never do that again. But I had to go through that to get to where I am today. And I'm not saying where I am today is anything impressive, but I like to think that I know a bit more now than I do back then. And yeah, you kind of just got to get started, man. You got to get started. So if I was to learn a coding language, what coding language would you guys recommend? Like just basics, just the bare bones basics. Because I'm starting to realize, like, I think if I had a little bit of knowledge, it would take me a long way. Like the exponential graph is like this at the start, I feel. So if I just understand like a little bit, I'll get like this much better. I think the graph like flattens out the more you know. But at the start, I think the graph is kind of like this. If you study like coding or something like that, you'd learn a lot really quickly that'll help you with vibe coding. And so I'm just curious, Jmart, Vince, any other devs in the chat, if I was to learn one coding language, which one would you recommend? I've been told JavaScript. I've been told that JavaScript is a really good all-rounder and it helps you understand like all the concepts. I'm not entirely sure if that's true. I have no idea what I'm talking about. What do you guys recommend? This little sidebar here is kind of cool. Python. Okay. Ryan. Are you a developer, Ryan? I didn't know you were a developer. Java. I was told Java. What's this saying? Nah, just pretending I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, nice one. Got me there, Ryan. You got me there, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So to actually orchestrate this where it works is going to be interesting. So this is going to be a massive change. I'm probably only going to push it to dev first. and we can kind of go from there. Yo, Blues, how we doing, bro? Haven't seen you in the chat in a minute, man. Hope you're doing well. By the way, Doobie, as a footballer myself, that app idea from you earlier would low-key be insane. What, the one where it scans your striking technique by using a camera? Blues, tell us how your app's going, man. Are you still doing Pokemon? Dude, Pokemon's popping off right now. I'm seeing everyone create new channels. You got Chunks creating a new channel. Chunks rips. It's ripping Pokemon packs. Pokemon packs are going crazy right now. What's up, bro? Been lurking a bunch. Freaking lurker, bro. Why are you lurking all the time, man? Interact with me, mofo. Oh yeah, my shit is crazy, not gonna lie. Bro, what you mean? You got users? You got people using your app? I'm not gonna lie, Blues. Your app idea is actually like probably one of the best that I've seen. Been working on it so much so I don't be typing. Oh, dude, I'd love to see the finished result. No, not shipped yet. This thing is my baby. Dude, honestly, Blues, shoot me a demo if you're open. I'd love to consider investing into your app. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, if there's any way that I could help with distribution or anything like that, like if you see value, genuinely, I love your app so much. I think it's such a good idea that I would love to be involved in some way. So let me know. I think the concept of being able to scan Pokemon card and instantly seeing like, you know, how much it's worth and stuff like that is a really, really good idea. And it's definitely something that you could charge money for extra kind of stats and stuff. I'm not too sure how much you've changed it, but yeah, sick idea, man. I'm not gonna lie, really good idea. I just found your channel today and I have no idea what is happening, but I do see you are streaming for 75 days. Gonna go through those live sessions and I'll catch up in 10 days of time, maybe. Let's go, Mohammed. We got someone new coming in. All right. I'm excited to see you in 10 days and you're just like a new man. Hey, Doobie, do you play video games? Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of lame, man. I don't really play that many video games. When I'm hanging out with my friends, we play a bit of Brawlhalla, but that's literally it. I pay 100 a month for top tier data right now, lol. I caved and was like, if I'm gonna use the app, I need the best data. Let's go. Are you using Perplexity? Or is it something else? Is it like an API or something? All right, we haven't been doing much work, so let's lock in a little bit. Makes these 2 knobs per call. Yo, this looks sick. There we go. Yo, that looks super clean. Okay. So how this gets integrated into the app is going to be crucial. I'll check in every day to stay disciplined though. Of course, bro, you got to. You gots to do that, bro. All right, so this looks good. This is looking good. Canvas popover is interesting. I kind of like center modal. Like we can lock in center modal. In chat, center modal is better. Let's lock in center modal and remove everything else. And with the mission contract, the GitHub drop-down menu cuts out, and also the timeline dot thingy cuts out as well. We also no longer have a chat page. I see at the top header, there's a board and a chat toggle. We no longer have a chat toggle, so we can remove that. I'd like to see an alternative where the mission contract is actually on the header and you can click on it and stuff. Let's go with that. Hey, you should create a video of all the equipment and subscriptions you use today and what you think is the best stuff to get for beginners. That's a good idea. I've heard multiple people want me to make that video, so I'm gonna get on it. Jmart made a good suggestion. How much it costs as a vibe coder, or all the expenses I pay as a vibe coder, or something like that. That's a pretty good video idea. But yeah, I totally could do that. Are you new, Josh? Like, how new to vibe coding are you? You know, the reason that this is really important that it works is because if we make changes on Ace, the app, we need that Ace bench to be able to quickly identify and, you know, utilize those changes that are made. That's the whole point of Ace bench. So yeah, let's run a full end-to-end run. So yeah, if everything's ready, I will go into the configuration page and create some new prompts and run a full end-to-end run. Just let me know if everything is good to go and I'll do it. I kind of like the concept of these guys being different colors. It's kind of cool. I sent you a demo video, ignore collection names. Yo, Blues. Can I show it on the live or nah? Am I allowed to show it on live, Blues? Yeah? Oh, all right. Yo, guys, check out this app. So this is what Blues has been building. And it's pretty cool. It's basically for... I'll just show you. Let me show you the preview. Yo, whoa, dude, this is looking sick. No freaking way, dude. Dude, nah, this is sick. Bro, no freaking way. That is so cool, man. Damn. Dude, launch this shit ASAP, bro. Launch this shit ASAP. That's really cool. Let me know if you need help with the marketing side. I feel like this app's pretty easily marketable. Dude, that's really cool, man. Wow. I love how nice it looks. It's far out. Damn. Nice collection names. That's funny. Dude, this is really cool. I guess the thing for me is like, okay, what if I'm very new? The whole scanning thing still works, right? So I guess you could do that. If you knew what you were looking for, then I guess it's fine. Which a lot of people downloading this app would know what they're looking for. But yeah, there's a shit ton of collections there. Holy shit, dude. This looks amazing. I love it. Blues. You killed it, bro. Good shit. Run full bench rebuilds everything, every prompt, X Claude, including your existing 6 from scratch. There's no skip existing or ace only filter yet. So a full run equals full spend. I can add an only build missing changed or ace only toggle. Latency per ace build, single agent baseline, don't get onboarding. The bench reflects app changes only from the full board. Artifact path has not been run end to end with real money. Every piece is verified to that line. Okay. Let's do a full run. So Milky Way. Build an interactive magnetic field visualization where particles trace curved field lines between magnets. Users should be able to drag magnets around and see the field update smoothly in real time. Whoa, that's a cool one. Magnetic field visualizer. We've got a lava lamp. We can keep that. Dream clock. Create a surreal animated clock scene where gears, particles, ecosystem terrarium. Build a miniature terrarium simulation with plants, bugs, water droplets, sunlight, and weather cycles. Particle portal. Create an animated sci-fi. Build a music style visualizer that runs without audio input. It should generate rhythm waves. These are cool. Organic lava world, marble machine, crystal growth, gravity sculptor. There was one, neon city rain. I feel like this could be cool. I want to check neon city rain. Maze game. We can leave for now. Okay, we've got a few complex ones. Now, could you give me some more simple ones? I want the full range. Yes, sir. Scanning is near instant. Can't demo on the emulator though. Dude, that's dope. Blues, you killed it, man. Good luck, bro. I'm so confident that your app is gonna blow up, bro. It's a really good idea. Do you have much competition on the market? No cap. I just locked in a 12,000 ARR deal starting July 1st. What do you do, Master Mage? Is it like is it service or what are you providing? Hey, which one is better, Midjourney or Higgsfield? I would say Higgsfield is better because you have way more options. You can use Midjourney inside of Higgsfield. You can use Dance inside of Higgsfield. You have way more choice inside of Higgsfield. So I would say Higgsfield is better. Midjourney is probably a bit cheaper, but yeah, Higgsfield definitely wins. Bouncing ball? Build a simple browser animation with colorful balls bouncing around the screen. Balls should collide with the wall. Rain on window. Let's do rain on window. Rain on window. Create a relaxing rain on window. Starfield. Build an animated starfield where stars fly toward the viewer to create a sense of depth and motion. Bubble pop. Create a simple bubble popping game. Bubbles should float upward. Snow globe. Sunset gradient. Fireworks. Drawing pad. Glowing drawing pad. Kind of like that concept. Create a simple wave slider, pixel pet. Create a simple pixel pet with idols. Okay, memory. All right, this should give us a nice variety. I'd hate to have just filled all this out and nothing works. So let's go ahead and run full bench. Okay, so we're running the bench now. Building to do app / ace. Okay, what the hell? It's building to do app / ace. Stop. But there's not a single thing in here. So I just ran the ace bench. I've changed all the prompts and picked different ones. And I went to run it and it said building to do app / ace, which is the previous prompt that was on there, meaning that it might not have recognized the new prompts that I've added. Is there a way to save whatever prompts I've got on screen? Because I know that I'm going to have to probably refresh the localhost in order for the new update to come in. And I've just filled out all the prompt boxes. So if we could keep the prompt boxes that I've already filled out, that would be really good rather than going back to what it was previously. Yo, Josh, are you from Canberra? Bro, I'm from Canberra. No way. Josh, whereabouts in Canberra are you from? Just increase in salary, which there's good comp. I hope the AI feature of my app gives it a nice edge on top of the cleanliness and functionality. Bro, 100%. I think that's definitely the trick right now is like you can come in and be competitive by just integrating AI into your app. Damn, you live in Gugong, bro? That's so far. How old are you, Josh? I'm in Harrison. I'm cooking on my new app called Only Vibe. What's Only Vibe, Barden? Please tell me more. Also, rip Australia in the game versus USA in the World Cup. I don't know if you saw the game. I actually didn't know. Did we lose? Damn, we got wrecked, bro. We were playing pretty good. So we got wrecked in US. Yeah, GG's, man. Honestly, I have no hope in our football team, if I'm being completely honest. Damn, Josh, you hella young, bro. If you keep it up, man, you definitely you just gotta lock in. Canberra. You just gotta lock in, and if you continue for the next 5 years, just locking in with AI and vibe coding and shit, dude, I guarantee you will be somewhere that you're happy with. You just gotta lock in, gang. Don't get distracted by the new shiny object because it's at that age, it's very easy to just jump ship, just do something else. But at my age, you tend to realize that the skill is to stick to one thing for a long time, because the more you stick to something, the better you get at it, and the less competitive it feels. So yeah, there's some advice for you right there. Give this a refresh. Bro, why do you live in Canberra? You literally have money. Bro, Canberra's expensive to live in, bro. What are you talking about? I grew up here, so just been living here my whole life. I got my girlfriend here. I got my family here. Like, why would I want to move? Calling to be broke is crazy. I mean, hey, I wouldn't say I'm rich. Title needs 26 points. More room. Let me widen the chat slightly and tighten the silver gaps. What school did you go to? I went to Campbell. Yeah, it was a very junky school. Like, it's got a bad rep, but hey, I thought it was good. Mask Mage, man. Relax a little. Bro's 16, bro. Loosen up a little, man. It is so woke now. You go to Eddie's, bro. I'm going to stop talking to you now, man. You go to Eddie's? Yeah, sent me. Hey, Mask Mage, keep talking to him, yeah? I'm not talking to this guy no more. You guys to Eddie's, bro? Ew. Nah, man. Do this first. I can't reach that tab, but you can. In the tab where you type the new prompt, click Save Configuration top left. Oh, true. Save configuration. Okay, I've saved the configuration. Now that writes them to disk, do not refresh the tab first. A fresh reloads the old saved config and your typed prompts are gone. Save, then refresh is safe. While you do that, let me fix the root cause so this can't bite again. Dude, we got 18 people in the chat right now and we only got 8 likes. Like, what's going on? What's going on? You guys hate me or something? What's going on, man? All right. I think we are moving. Let's give this another review. Ace Bench. So we got a few things rolling right now. Dude, I can't believe there was a time. Kind of lost. Could you brief what you are working on? Of course. I just want to say that there was a time where, like, you can see how many different things I'm doing right now. I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 different things I'm doing right now. There was a time where I could only do one thing at a time. Like, imagine how slow I would be working if I was still doing that. So, Muhammad. So basically what I'm doing is this, okay? So this is called Conductor. Inside of this environment, I can do 2 things. I can write code and then I can review code, okay? And what's really neat about this environment is every time I write something, I can press this little button up here and I can send it to a different model. You can see this is GPT 5.5, where here I'm using Opus 4.8. And so GPT 5.5 gets this review request MD, which looks at all the chat history of this and reviews the code that was just built. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting Claude Opus 4.8 to write code, and then I'm getting GPT to review it. And what's really neat and handy, what I have here, is this is Claude Design. And this lets me visualize and build out features before I even code them onto the app. And so what I can do is I can say like, oh, I want to do this. I want to change this. I like this more. And I can get the visual to look exactly how I want it to, so that when I send it to an agent to code onto the app, it looks and feels a lot closer to what I want than closing my eyes and just randomly prompting. Because if I close my eyes and randomly prompt, that you're going to get an output that you're not happy with, and then you're going to spend the rest of your day debugging that output. So by doing Claude design and these kinds of things, damn, I actually do like that. I kind of like the contract in top bar rather than here. I like the contract in top bar. I think we can actually remove the Maze Game 2 label next to it, because we kind of have it shown inside of the mission contract. And I think what can be cool now is we don't need the mission contract to expand anymore. We can just extend it out a little bit so it has a GitHub button and a build and open button. And people can just click that rather than having to click expand and see everything. So let's lock in the contract in top bar. You also need to consider that this is a huge change for the app. Like, we are changing the entire functionality of how the app operates. So we need to consider creating really in-depth instructions for the AI agents when I export this to the agent on exactly what to do and how to do things. Hey Doobie, one of my friends said he would pay me $20 for building his website. I mean, it's a start. It's not a whole lot though. I'd do it for the experience than for the money, to be honest. I'd do it. I'd take it. Ryan saying, take it straight away. That's funny. I actually prefer this sidebar over the current one we have. It looks cleaner. Claude Design does it in 10 minutes though. Yeah, but if they don't like it, then you have to re-prompt Claude Design, and then it's going to take 20 minutes. You've seen how long it's been taking me to design just this section right here, right? Like, you don't get it straight away off the first prompt. Maybe it's good enough for your mate, but do it. Take it. You gotta consider the profit margin, man. Like, that prompt that you send Claude Design might cost you $3 or $5. So the extra 15 is profit. It's not including the labor. That's not including the mental capacity, the skill set. You got to value the skill set of something. Like, you got to consider these things. You don't just consider the one prompt that you send. Oh, what's going on here? This is ugly. Oh, this is looking clean, dude. This is looking clean. This looks really good. There'd probably need to be a slider if there were more. But this is looking clean. I'll lock the contract to the top bar as an inline bar, GitHub plus. Build, open, no expand. Drop the project label, then write a thorough build spec for handoff. Dude, this is going to be a huge change on the app. When you're writing that thorough build spec for handoff, you need to write the build spec for the entire canvas, because this is basically a complete canvas redesign. So I want you to rewrite end to end everything, because this completely changes everything. Even the sidebar is different. The group chat is completely different. The mission contract is different. The output block no longer existing is different. The prioritizations on the agent, not just the stages, is different. So there's a lot of things changed in this UI design, and I need you to cover everything. So you're making a game? Bro, how'd you get making a game out of this, bro? I'm building a agentic coding environment. Bro, I thought Orangey was laughing when he said he went to Canberra. I guess not. What did he do? Did you guys just catch up and then he left? Yeah, he came through and he checked out my apartment. We caught up for like an hour or two, and then he dipped over to Sydney. It was chill. It was nice to see him. He's a lot taller than I thought he was. He's like 6'3" or 6'4" or something. He's a pretty tall guy. So yeah, we were just kind of chilling. Him, me, and his cameraman. He's actually pretty nice guy. All right. So Ace Dev is what I'm going to be working inside of for a little bit. This is a complete redesign. I wanted to ask Jay. Yo, regarding the Claude design handoff, did you say that it's actually better to use it on the actual Claude IDE? Just conscious because we are going to be handing off this big group chat feature, and I'm wondering if maybe I should try Claude Code. Did you know we live in the most boring capital city on the planet? Yes, sir. I do know that. I'm very well aware. But if you have money, you can just fly everywhere, so it doesn't really matter. I think the concept of like having a home in Canberra and then having another home in Sydney and having another home in Melbourne, and so you can kind of enjoy different parts of Australia, is a shout. This is a full canvas redesign. The spec is now complete end-to-end build. Contract locked into the top bar inline, a complete end-to-end build spec. Done. The contract is now inline top bar. Implementation. Okay. Maybe we go for the all right, let's remove that black header as it's actually not really part of the app. And then I think I'd probably maybe want to remove this as well. Okay. Let's go and share. Standalone, probably go project archive. Do direct hand up to Claude Code. It's 1-1. Okay. All right. Let's do that. Let's do Claude Code. New session. We got GitHub on here? No. You know, I've actually never properly used the Claude Code IDE. I remember trying it once and I thought it was shit. Damn, you can only get Anthropic and partners from here? So I'm assuming I'm going to have to connect this to... Is there a conductor? I don't see it. There it is. Workspaces, multi-agent. I'm currently building an agentic AI extension for VS Code that replaces Copilot, and so far so good. It's way better. Congrats, bro. Sounds cool. Okay, so hand off the project to your terminal. I just want to make sure that Claude is connected to GitHub, and is that just locally, or can I connect it through with a link? Looking to connect my GitHub repo to Claude Code. What is the best way to go about this? The best, most efficient install slash install GitHub app command directly. In this environment, the frick? Why not? The hell? This is available because of where this session is running, not because anything broken. You're not in a Git repository. This session works directly in your home folder. It uses Doobie. Ah, okay. So I got to start new, and now I do it. GitHub's not available in this session either, though. Run it from inside the repo you want it on in an interactive Claude terminal session. It'll walk you through installing the Claude GitHub app, pick which repo it can access, and commit a workflow. You're telling me I have to do it through frickin'... Nah, no way. Appreciate the offer, Reb. Thanks, man. Multi-agent. I'm just going to copy this. I just want to give Claude access to this repo. Okay. We already had a cloned repo inside of Conductor called multi-agent. Can you just have a look? If you have GitHub CLI, that's all it needs. It does. So are you saying I should do it through the terminal? I was doing it through the app. Dude, why is the app so useless? Flickr free. Yes, try it. Okay. / install GitHub app. Enter repository. Dude, yeah, what the hell? I can do it inside of the terminal, but not inside of the app. Like, what is the actual point of the app in that instance? Press enter to continue anyway, or Control C to exit and fix. Invalid GitHub URL format. The repository URL format appears to be invalid. Owner repo or HTTP owner / repo. You might need admin permissions on to set up GitHub actions. Press enter to continue anyway. Okay. Configure. Manage installation settings. GB Booby. Sign in. Oh, okay. I'm giving it access right now. Yo, Jay, were you just handing it to the GitHub terminal or through the GitHub, not GitHub terminal, through the Claude Code terminal or through the Claude Code app? Okay. I think I've just connected to GitHub. Already got it? Remove, no, leave the standalone clone in place for quick throwaway experiments outside conductor. Cursor almost killed me today. I think it's time I start using Ace. Bro, get in here, bro. We should delete our clone that we made and just use conductor. Yeah. Which copy should I work in going forward? Yes, that's fine. Delete it. It has your local repo that is cloned already. Oh wait, I've got the Claude Design app in here now. So I should be able to hand off through inside here, right? How do I get to design can only be, okay. So if I'm in here, I'm inside the Aceboard team chat and I go share, send to Claude Code, send. Wait, that's so stupid. Why would they let you design? Dude, Anthropic pisses me off sometimes. What is the point of having Claude Design inside of your desktop app when you can't even hand it off to your desktop app? Look, I go to send, and to send to local coding agent, I need to copy this prompt. Just copy that and paste it into Claude Code. All right, let me go back. So we got this all sorted. Which work tree do you want to work in, or should I spin up a new task branch? And what are we doing? Spin up a new task branch. And I'll paste this, use the Claude Design MCP. Oh, nice. Okay, so they've got the Claude Design MCP here. Okay, so that's what we're missing from Conductor. Implement Aceboard Team Chat HTML. And I'm also just going to give it this. Spin up a new task branch that we'll be merging into dev when ready. Okay, I've got Opus 4.8 enabled. We're on extra. I think we're gonna go ultra code for this. And let's send it. Man, I'm nervous. I don't really use the Claude Code interface that much, so it's kind of nerve-wracking. Oh, give me a minute to just like get ready. Ugh. We'll be pushing into dev already. Catch you later, Doobie. Got to get some sleep. Peace out, Ryan. Hi, Doobie. How we doing? Doing good, bro. All right, I'm sending it. Sent. Opus 4.8. It's on Ultra Code. We got Opus 4.8. Interesting. They used to give you the 1 million context. I guess that's just automatic now. Shit, man. Fingers crossed this works. This is a substantial build. Let me set up properly. Investigate the conductor repo layout, the dev branch, the duo code app structure, and figure out the Claude Design MCP in parallel. Ooh, this will be interesting to see how much usage it uses. All right, we are currently on 23% at 26% of our weekly usage. So let's see how much. I'm predicting like 20% of our usage is going to go. Our weekly usage, like 20% is going to go. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous, guys. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. Jmart, bro. You better be right on this shit, man. I never use Claude Code. Man. What are we doing? We are integrating our new feature we've just designed in Claude Design, which is basically called, I'm going to call it group chats, where you can now talk to each agent individually by just tagging them. Research, be like, hey, and then research pops up and replies. Or you could tag everyone in the team and be like, hey, and then everyone on the team is able to respond. And so now you can talk to each person individually on the team. If you want to check out Ace for yourself, there's a link at the top of the description. But this is a huge upgrade because now you literally are able to collaborate live with your agents. Like this feature unlocks so much. Not only does it, one, simplify our app, but two, it actually unlocks way more possibility. And so the next live stream and all of today is literally just going to be configuring this feature to make sure it works properly. Because if we can get this feature to work, then that's a huge upgrade. So if you're wondering why we're using Claude Code instead of our usual conductor environment, turns out, thanks to Jmart, he pointed out that Claude Code uses the Claude Design MCP, and this apparently copies the design one-to-one, which I am intrigued to see, because every time I've tried to copy a design from Claude Design, it looks completely different by the end. So I've literally perfected this design exactly how I want it to look. I'm interested to see Claude Code now build the design. Okay, so your move, run design/login and authorize and reply a simple done works. I'll then import Aceboard team chat, combine the spec and my code base map. All right, cool. /design design.login isn't available in this environment. Like, bro, what do you mean? Okay, I'll just do it through the terminal because Claude Code is actually so stupid sometimes. Far out, man. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's so disconnected. Like, why would you want to ever use the app? All right, I'll say done. Like, how hard would it be to just integrate this into the app that they're trying to get everyone to use? Why would everyone use this app? Dude, when Boris Cherny says that he only uses the Claude Code IDE, he doesn't even use the terminal anymore, I think he's complete bullshit. Like, there is no freaking way you're telling me that this guy doesn't use the terminal. Dude, the coding IDE that Claude has created is so half-assed. I'm in anti-grav, but when it works, it's so good. I mean, let's see. I'm excited to see this work because I feel like we've had to do a couple hurdles, duck under a couple hurdles. It's worth the trade-off, in my opinion. Okay, all right, dude. Jamar is speaking very highly of Claude Code IDE right now, so I'm excited to see this thing in action, man. I'll be honest, I don't use Terminal either because Claude Code is good, to be fair, and because it goes PowerShell for me on Windows, just don't see the point. I do want to try it, but I don't see the difference. What, Terminal versus Claude Code? How long do we reckon this is going to go for? I love how we're all in here like patiently waiting for this thing to just like magically appear. Dude, it's only been 2 minutes. It's probably going to take like 10-15 minutes. I think terminal versus app is more of a preference at this point. Okay, that's fair. I just feel like, you know, if you're going to go ahead and build an app, you might as well add all these additional features, and things like /design login not being available in your environment is just weird. Like, if you're trying to make this someone's daily driver, you need to be able to do everything inside of here. Yeah, like vibe coding on Claude Code versus terminal. Agora Hermes, how we doing? I don't think it's that deep. It ain't that deep, bro. It ain't that deep. Dude, that's my favorite gaslight tactic. Every time like someone like shows you any sort of interest in any sort of topic, hey, it ain't that deep, bro. It ain't that deep. Best gaslight tactic out there right now. You guys should try it. Trust. It's mad funny when you're talking to your friends and you just pull that one out. It's like, damn, how do you even respond? Like, how do you actually respond to that? Oh my God, I'm so excited. This is probably like the most excited I've been in a minute about seeing some code. All right. Oh yeah, I completely forgot, but we've got a whole ass ace bench running right now. Did this work? It says 0 out of 18 done. I saved configuration. I gave it a refresh. And it worked. All right, cool, nice. So let's run full bench. Not run is a run is already active. So if I go to console, magnetic field visualizer It's actually not showing any of the previous things. All right. Few things I noticed. I went to toggle a run and it told me that a run is already active inside of config. Except it's not showing me any loading screen of it going through each run. And when I switch between console and config, it completely changes like the state. For example, it'll be loading and then I go to console and then the loading screen goes away when I go back to config, almost like it's been refreshed or something. And you can also see inside of console, it's showing the new magnetic field visualizer label, and it's also showing the new prompt, but it's showing the old generation from the previous run. And I think in order to save space and things like that, we need to delete the previous run when a new run is started. I think that's just what we got to do. This will help conserve space on the device. For those that are just joining in now, we basically created Ace Bench, which lets us visualize how Ace performs across other models. Like this is, as you can see, Codex did a lava lamp and then Ace Bench did a lava lamp. You can see there's a big difference between the two. You can see we did a maze game. Ace was able to create a maze that is far more complex and you're able to generate, different levels. You can see where with the game that Claude made, it's just a simple maze and like you can only press new maze to generate a new maze. So there's a huge difference in how they work there. Even here, you can see that the website that Claude designed is way shitter. Look at that. It looks very vibe coded. But this one, it actually looks a lot cleaner. Like it feels a lot more profesh. I really like these how it's done these over here. I feel like it actually generated this emoji because I haven't seen this emoji before. I don't know if you guys have. So pretty cool. The pricing structure is interesting as well. But yeah, I like it. I think this website is way cleaner than this website. So already we're seeing Ace beat the solo agent in some areas. However, you can also see it doesn't always win. Like here's an example of a galaxy, and Ace's galaxy doesn't look anywhere near as good as Claude's. So this is going to help us improve Ace's overall output. Like so far it's winning 1, 2, 3. It definitely does win here. It's got extra pills here. 4. So 4 out of, I don't even know what this is, so I won't count it. So 4 out of 5 tasks, Ace is winning. So that's kind of the scope that we're looking at right now. If we can push that to, 5 out of 5 or whatever, then would be good. Better confirmed. Config shows the idle run button plus a run is already active. So the server has a live run, but the freshly mounted page isn't showing its progress. Console shows a new label over the old Galaxy artifact because you reuse the slot and the old build is still on disk. Local model integration, copy this. Okay, so 9 minutes now. What's our usage at? Have we completely fried our usage? 32%. What were we on before? What are we on before? Like, we're at 28%. Actually didn't use that much of our weekly usage limit. We were at 27% for weekly. So how should the redesign land relative to the existing board? The current board is a 5,000 line React Flow surface, deeply wired to the orchestrator store and live messages. Build it as fresh components mounted as a separate toggleable board view with the spec seeded data. The existing board keeps working untouched, lower risk. That's not a bad idea. Replace the board in place. Rip out the old bottom prompt, brain drawer, and output cards and rebuild Ace board view around the new canvas plus chat modal now, wired to real data, much larger, riskier single PR that destabilizes the working board. Yeah, look, I know that, but we're gonna push this onto dev, so it's fine. Let's go ahead and replace the board in place. So new surface additive, and then we can remove it. I can replace the board in place. Faithful to the spec, implement the prototype's exact tokens, fonts, and palette scoped to this new surface. Ships the redesign as the designer intended, self-contained, so it won't disturb the rest of Ace. Rebuild the look using the app's existing fonts, Satoshi fonts, and accent tokens for consistency with the rest of Ace. Diverges from the spec's exact visual handoff. Needs more taste calls. Ooh. I'll just go faithful to the spec. Design.md. I haven't looked at the design.md. So I'm not sure. Look, if it doesn't work, we can always just which visual system should the port use? The spec prescribes source serif into JetBrains and Mono and specific warm palette. Ace's design.md currently uses Satoshi and says don't deviate without approval. Let me just look at Claude Design. Checking it against the original spec compared to Ace Dev. Ace hit an unexpected error. This usually fixes itself with a refresh. Let me... just take a screenshot of this. Tried to open one of my projects and I got this error. I think we actually go with the remap to Ace Design. After my exams, I will spend the entire summer vibe coding. Do you have any tips on how to stay inspired and come up with killer app ideas? You need to set a token, I believe. Let me see. If you watch a lot of like podcasts, because, you know, I think the concept of you are like the people you hang around is very true, but you can kind of like hack it, because obviously I don't want to, you know, ditch my friends. I don't want to, have to find new friends who are interested in the same stuff as me. So you can kind of almost hack your brain by listening to more business podcasts, by listening to more kind of that style of content, because then it kind of enforces it by itself. So that's a good way to stay motivated. Also, just put yourself in a shit situation like me. I'm renting this apartment. I've moved out of home. If I don't lock in and make money, then I can no longer afford my lifestyle and I'm screwed. That stress is kind of what keeps me motivated, and it's what keeps me pushing. How did you get to Australia? I thought he lived in Miami, lol. Dude, I live in Australia. He's rich enough to get into US and Miami right tomorrow though, lol. I mean, I don't know, man. Miami's pretty expensive, bro. Don't know about that, man. You guys overestimating my wealth. Implementing the I'm implementing the group chat feature into dev right now. Hopefully it doesn't break nothing. Can you do it to a PR and then merge from there? Would just make things a bit cleaner if it's not too hard. All right. And that's the ambitious path. Replace the board in place, wired to real data, restart with Ace's own design tokens. Not the prototype source serif. I'll be straight with you about scale. This is an in-place rework of a 5,000 line orchestrator wired file. So I'll do it in verified phases and keep the build green, not claim it's done until it's actually run. PR's target dev. Okay. All right. All 6 prototype files are now saved in the work tree, and I have the full spec plus a complete map of the current code. Before I kick off the build, this is a big multi-agent port. I need 2 decisions from you. Both have a real tension with the existing app that's yours to call. Understood. Okay, yeah, cool. Done. Running in background. Watch live/workflows. Let me guess, this isn't going to work. Oh, here we go. All right. Damn, look at that go, man. Miami full of distractions? Bro, I believe it, man. I believe it. Have you made any money from crypto? I made a lot of money from crypto, actually. Before I got into live streaming and building apps, I actually ran a crypto marketing agency. So we made a lot of good money there. And with the savings that I accumulated from that business, I am now full-time trying to make it building apps and vibe coding and hanging out with you guys. I'm not from Miami. I'm from Australia. Okay, maybe I'm kind of liking Claude Code a little bit more now. Like, this is kind of cool. No worries. If not, me and J-Mark got you. I'm vibe supporting right now. Vibe living, vibe eating, vibe communicating, vibe watching. Only then you can be one with the vibes. Yeah, nice. Synthesize. Interesting. I actually think Australia is more expensive than the United States. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I had Orangey over here, it was telling me how like an apartment like this would be way cheaper in the US than what I'm paying for it. And I mean, maybe that's just Miami. I don't know. I heard Miami's pretty expensive though. I spent all my money on Ace and AI, bro. Yo, Mo, whoa. Stop capping, bro. Don't make me hit you with the it's not that deep. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Nah, man. Well, we're gonna make Ace the best app ever. It's gonna be your daily driver. It's gonna be my daily driver. We just gotta lock in, gang. We just gotta lock in. Lock the F in. Yo, like up the stream if you haven't already. We got 21 people watching right now. We only got 14 likes. Like, what's going on? Got 47 votes on the poll, may I just add. Ultra Code going crazy right now. 517,000 tokens burned. Let's go have a look at the usage right now. Damn, we're at 44% now. Okay. I think we were at 26% when we started in terms of weekly usage. So we're at 29% now. That's 3%. That's on the Claude 20x Max plan. Maximus plan, 20x Maximus. Give this a refresh. Man, I'm nervous, bro. Mad nervy. Orangey, the guy that used to play Fortnite and turned into crypto? Yeah, that's the guy. He came to Australia and we linked up, believe it or not, because he's now getting into AI. And so he wanted me to show him a few things. Dude, this is so clean. If this actually looks like this inside of here, we're actually cheering, dude. We are actually cheering. And I'm starting to regret choosing the design.md option here. I feel like I should have maybe just let it cook with its own design. Nice, say less. I used to watch him years ago play with Kiwis, lol. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't realize Orangey's actually pretty big. I knew him through the meme coin trading stuff. I remember I watched a few of his videos because I was like, damn man, this guy out here. Yeah, might have messed up with that one. It'll look different. I was just like, man, I want it to look like closer to the Ace app itself because I can see like the background, the board in the background looks a little different. And like, I was just like, okay, maybe if we use the design.md, it will actually look closer to that. Maybe I messed up. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. What's going on here? Install dependencies in work tree. Locate existing conductor, manage multi-agent workspace. Failed. This is an excellent line precise plan. Before writing code, I'll ground it against the real files, the plan sites. Lines from a 13K line file. So I verify before editing. I mean, I think it's too late now. I feel like if I go in and I prompt it, I might just mess it up. So I'm just gonna let it cook. Honestly, if everything looks shit, we can always just undo and try again. Worst case scenario, we undo and try again, right? That's the whole point of GitHub, is the undo feature. So yeah, if we don't like it, we can undo and try again. Obviously wasting tokens, but that's all right. I literally started watching you because of Orangey, I can't lie. Actual? No way. Yeah, one of his friends made millions from Trump coin, I think. Do you have design system set up? Nah, I actually don't. I might have messed up. Dude, no way. You found me through Orangey? That's kind of cool. If not, I would mark that for a to-do. Have Claude build you a design system. You store that in Claude design, and you can always build base on your design system. Okay, I mean, let's do that now. So we're inside of Ace. Let me create a new chat. I want you to help me create a design system for this app so that every time we build something, it follows this strict design guideline and we can build any feature. It was a bit of a shit prompt, but hey. Tell Orangey I'll cook him in Fortnite. He made a lot of money, yeah. He showed me how much he makes, man. Bro's making millies on millies, bro. If not, I would mark that for a to-do. I mean, why mark it as a to-do when we can build it right now? What's going on here? So do you want me to, am I fixing this or? Easy for him because pipeline is busted right now. He won't be able to get changes through on stream. That's kind of funny. So am I not fixing this bug that popped up? Is it gonna fix itself with your merges or? Yup, he was talking about you for a while. Then when he did the video with you, I just subbed after that. Like the vibes, no homo. That's crazy. Yo, did he actually release the video? I never thought he released that video. Let me check. Because we recorded one together, but I didn't think he ever released it. Yeah, I don't think he's released it yet. Oh man, they're about to do a fire test. They're about to do a fire test system. All right, I'm going to turn my mic off for a bit and convert and just play some music for you guys because I don't want you to hear them testing the fire system. We'll be back when it's over. Bro just called me orangey. This is what it sounds like in my apartment right now, by the way. They're testing the fire system. I think they're done. I think they're done with the testing, man. Had to go find the vid to clear my name. Yo, where was it? I still couldn't find it. Okay, we got components. Still going. Where are we at in terms of usage? 50%, 30%. Okay. It's pumping. It's pumping through it. POV, life after selling your company. Oh, it's in there. No way, I haven't seen this yet. Hey, Doobie, do you reckon I buy a Mac Mini? Dude, yeah, 100%. Mac Mini is a really good value. So if you're looking to upgrade or something and you have like a lower budget, Mac Mini is definitely a solid option, man. I bought a Mac Mini for my OpenClaw agent back in the day during the OpenClaw hype, and I don't regret it at all. 42 commits ahead of main. Oh my God. Damn. Shit, is that me or is that Vince? Oh, that's Vince. God damn, Vince went hard. Holy shit, 47 commits. Damn, bro. That's probably the most that I've seen. That's a lot. Hey, let me start my own project. You got a Mac Studio now? No, I just use my MacBook Pro. And that connects to everything. Do you still use it? I mean, yeah, I do. I use it as like a testing environment. I kind of regret getting the base model though. I got like the super base model, like 256 gigabytes, like 16 gigabytes RAM. Like it's very bottom tier. Yeah, bro went off the deep end, LMAO. Bro, that's crazy, man. If you want to revert my changes, you can. Probably you shouldn't have merged them on your stream. Thought you were working on the Ace bench. So good. So good. You finish what you doing. That's fine. We can leave that as is for now and just focus on Ace bench. It's all good. Short answer, yes, you need a fresh run and reuse the existing boxes is exactly right, but stop before you run. Your last run failed and that's now dangerous. What I recommend, let me run one single build first, one prompt through the real pipeline. All right, go for it. Should I get upgraded RAM and memory? Yes, 100%. Because you're going to find that, even though it might be enough for you today, the more that you use your Mac Mini, you might find that later on, the specs just don't cut it. And it's going to force you to have to upgrade again. So if you can, bite the bullet and spend a bit more money now to upgrade your, specs, then it's going to be more long-term proof and you're going to be able to use it for a lot longer. I'm sure everyone's experienced this, right? Like you buy your first ever phone and because you're used to because maybe your parents bought you your first phone or you got gifted it, like you buy your very first phone and you look for the cheapest possible spec. You're like, all right, the 125 gigabytes on my iPhone, that's going to be enough for 3 years, 100%. It's not like I'm taking photos of my food every day. And then you find out like, oh shit, this actually ain't enough. I need to upgrade my phone, or I need to get iCloud storage because I tried to save money. And it's almost always better to just get the more spec'd out version because then it lasts longer. Like, I think for my phone this time, I got a terabyte. I was like, screw it. I'm going to get a terabyte, man. Like, I need that shit. Builds append, return a single self-contained index, the prompt, but build ace passes the raw prompt with no such instruction. Yet it then looks for, so the ace team is never told to produce the expected path. Okay, let me. Yo, like up the stream if you haven't already. We out here using Ace. We out here using Claude Ultra Code, man. Like, Ace could not load saved state. Saving is paused, so existing workspace data is not overridden. Let's see if the report button works. Persistence error, server persistence load failed with HTTP 500. All right, let me just verify that this worked. Yes. Let's go. The report button now works. It sends me an email, which is kind of cool. So data saving is paused to existing workspace. User agent. Cool. Cool as. So I'm assuming this is also Vince. I'll just let Vince do his thing inside of dev. But damn, 42 commits ahead of main is crazy. Bro, how do you market? Dude, marketing is not like a black box. There's like a bunch of things. Probs have it give more context on error. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good idea. Let me add that. So the report button works when an error pops up and it sends me an email. I just think if we could provide more context on what exactly the error is, would be way more helpful for us to debug. I don't think you'll need a terabyte of storage unless you're doing like editing for videos and looking to run local models and stuff. Bro, how do you market? Marketing is not a black box. Like, there's so many different methods of marketing, you know? All you got to do is try and get eyeballs on your product. That's all marketing is. So what can you do to get eyeballs on your product? Like, don't overcomplicate it. List everything out that you could possibly do right now that could get eyeballs on your product. Maybe it's making a Reddit post. For me, it's live streaming. Even me live streaming and just debugging my app gets eyeballs on the product. That's all marketing is. It's just getting eyeballs on the product. People think me live streaming isn't marketing, which is dumb because majority of the sales from the app have come from me live streaming. Like, all I got to do is show the product while I'm working, and it's going to sell itself the more and more I integrate it into my workflows. Being able to, you know, make good content about it on X, you know. This post got 1,000 views. Maybe if I do another 5 of these posts, I might get a sale, you know. And it's like, what works, what doesn't work. You know, get an email list going. You know, be like, yo, if you join my email list and you're one of the first people to join, then I'll actually give you 50% off. You know, make it like nice. And then if people don't join, then your app's shit. Either your app's shit or you don't know how to sell it. I've felt product market fit before inside of crypto, and it is an amazing feeling because you just know every time you make a post in your head, you know like, oh shit, this post is gonna bang because you have the product market fit and you've done a bit of experience before to know that certain posts perform better than others. "30 new files, build workflow succeeded." Okay. "Would you help promote our SaaS apps? If so, how much would you charge?" I mean, honestly, I don't even know if it's worth me having promote your app, man. You know, like who's your target audience? Like, you know what I mean? You got to kind of reverse engineer. Otherwise, you're kind of blowing money on no reason. And also, like, I don't really do like indie dev kind of sponsors, only because I've already got like the bigger guys offering me a lot more money. You know, like Kimmy K. I've got I mean, you can Evo Map. You've got all the guys on my sponsorships. It's like, okay, if they're paying me good money, which I don't even know if they get anything out of it, to be honest. Like, they pay me so much money that I don't even think it's worth it for them, if I'm being completely honest. Because I think, like, okay, if I was to promote my app, how much money would I get out of that? And then I think of how much money they're charging me, which is a few thousand. And I'm like, okay, well, how's that worth it for them? Like, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I would say...
To Ace, to get started, go ahead and click New Project.
Oh, shit. Ace could not load save state. Saving is paused. Okay. And that's just me being completely honest, you know? It makes sense for the bigger guys because they're trying to create like a big wide net. They're trying to get every creator to talk about them at the same time. And they have the budget to do it. And so it looks like the whole internet is talking about something specific. If I was you, though, I'd be way more trying to find the one creator on TikTok or Instagram, try and find 3 or 4 of them, see how much they're offering, and then, you know, pay them. I'll let Vince know. One issue. Yo, is this localhost 8150? What's the issue?
Hey, welcome to Ace. To get started, go ahead and click New Project. Okay, let me take it from here. This is the Ace onboarding flow. Here you can share your project and Ace will create the team to help build it. Let me show you. First, you need to name your project. For this example, I want to build an auto script writer. Now you can just type your project out. What I prefer to do is just click this mic button and yap. Keeping up with everything happening in the world of AI can be hard, so I want to automate the entire process. From research to script generation, every morning I want to wake up to one short form script around AI and Vibecoding. I also drag in my product requirements document that I generated earlier, and we're good to go. Alright, now this page helps the AI ask crucial questions to remove any room for misinterpretation, because the more details you can provide Ace, the better the final output will be. Now it's time to select your team size. It's important to note the bigger the team, the longer and more costly the output will be. So here's the rule of thumb. Use smaller teams for simpler tasks and bigger teams for more complex ones. For this, I'll pick 3. Here I want it to run every morning, so I'll select daily. Here you'll be able to customize your team. You can swap out different models for different roles and edit their system prompt if you like. For example, I actually want Gemini for research because it has access to Google, and Claude for review.
No way it just stopped there. Okay, I'll leave that alone for a second. Pen the same, create exactly one self-contained, nothing destructive happens. It's running in the background. The moment it lands, let's have a look. Did it work? Oh shit. Did it work? Check DMs, twin. Haha, you are gonna get errors now because I actually made it so that it errors when there are actual problems before they would just silently fail. Like, as in, just feed it into the chat? What do I say? Bro, what? Is my app not usable? Yeah, just said dev environment is failing and I think Joy Code API is needed. Okay. Honestly, I might just leave the group chat thing as is because I don't want to touch what Vince is working on. You're clear to run the full bench. All right, let's run Ace Bench. Let's see how we're going here. Let me give this a quick refresh. Localhost not even working. All right, can we merge everything? But also, like, localhost is not working anymore for Ace Bench. All right. Well, I might just leave the stream here then, guys. Kind of stalemated a little bit. I'm going to let Ace Bench run, and then it'll probably be the first thing that we review tomorrow on the stream. But yeah, pretty solid session. We're getting the group chat feature sorted, and we kind of fixed up Ace Bench. A bit more of a chill live stream. I kind of just talked to you guys for most of it, but thanks for joining. I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Peace out. And I'll see you next time. Bye.